Okay, well I didn't want it to switch to thanks for watching. Didn't want to end the stream that quickly. Okay, first little mistake of the year is what it is. We'll get it out of the way. But yeah, season 5, race week 1. Crash McQueen with you here. We're going live from Abu Dhabi, as you can see, the Yas Marina circuit. We were here last night and we saw some exciting action here. Over half of the lobby DNF'd that race, so not what we were anticipating, but it is what it is. We'll see what the Division 1 guys can do here if you're new to the Midwest F1 League. And as well, you haven't seen the team changes yet. This is how things stand now. A couple drivers came up from Division 2, that being Monkey Mafia, Detail 1 Division 2, and as well as Dace TG in the Alfa Romeo. Won the final race of the season to secure his spot up, beating out Nero Nix and Nikki for the final promotion seat with that crazy win from Dace. So we'll see what we can do. And hello Shrubly, how are you doing again? Yeah, unfortunately, M-Sand isn't racing in Division 1. He's got to work his way up through the order right now. He's just a reserve driver, so he's got quite a ways to go. But yeah, the Division 1 guys are very fast, very competitive. We'll see what they can do. A lot of tight racing, a lot of really fast racing, impressive racing. It's got it all really. These guys, they're very well equipped to provide an exciting product, and that's exactly what they do week in and week out. I need to put a new follower goal up there, as we smashed that yesterday. So maybe we can go to 300 or something like that. See if we can work our way up there. But anywho, right now, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you're having a good Thursday. We're just about to get cars to exit the pit here, and we will get right into it. On board with Helg as he's coming down the pit lane. And of course, you go under the tunnel here in Abu Dhabi. But who can we get on board with for our first time around? Scuba Steve is out, or sorry, Scavney. Gonna have to get used to that. Helg holds on to the Mercedes seat. Scavney joins him. Scuba goes over to Red Bull to join the longtime Red Bull seat with Cake Thomas. Siwi and Mystic Joker stay together, the two-brother tandem in the Alfa Romeo seats. Smith Pell and Matt Rosie take their talents from Alpine over to McLaren, and in that vacant Alpine seats slide in Detail, who's in the pit, as well as Suprinas, who's also in the pit. Williams are now Yolmir and the Monkey Mafia, a couple of long-time drivers. Monkey Mafia is his first time back up in Division 1 for a very long time. Who can we... You know what, let's get on board with Helg for our first time around on Season 5 here. We're going to enter into Turn 1. Very important. Doesn't take too much to the curb there. Extends the line decently well. Looking for a decent banker here. Continually taking some clean lines, not pushing it too much. Oh, Nikki with the resubscription. Thank you very much, Nikki. Best of luck. We'd love to see it. And then we come into the hairpin of turn 7. Once again, extending that line as much as possible. Helg is on the medium, so he's not going to go crazy fast. There's a lot of discussion for the potential tire strategy here with a lot of these drivers. And a lot of different suggestions: soft, medium, softs, the medium soft softs, the soft mediums, the medium hards, even the full length soft medium. So we'll see if one stopper can come into play. Of course, you need a little bit of help from some potential safety cars, and if that's the case, then you will get that. Well, at least you got that last night, so we'll see how that plays out. Helg taking very clean lines, maybe a little bit deep through that. Not wanting to invalidate early on here. Really not attacking much of these curbs. There's a lot more time to be taken. Mother Ellie's in, supporting her boy. Ryan Rod setting the first lap of Season 5. Mercer Selly nearly a second off his pace. On the fastest tire lap. Scuba Steve going quickest on the mediums there. Yellow flags up ahead. Hell going up ahead of Murph and Selly in the late 136s. And is that Mystic Joker? No, that's Sui starting his first hot lap. Cake in behind. Matt Rosie, no. Smith Pell. Smith Pell followed by Jin, and then Matt Rosie to come over after. See what these drivers can do. Smith comes over. Jin over. And now Matt Rosie. And then Dace Tag to come and start a hot lap. Matt Rosie, first driver. Oh, not first driver. Almost the first driver to go into the 134s, but not quite yet. Just misses out. Here is Mystic Joker now coming through Sector 3. Matt Rosie sets a pretty quick qualifying lap here. Ooh, Mystic really pushing the boundaries of that turn. Doesn't go invalid. Stays clean through the final turn, comes over the line, and just edges out Matt Rosie for the fastest lap. Hash, Season 4, second place. Not the qualifying he wants to start. And Scavney once again invalid, so I imagine he'll go bomb into the pit. And Murphy Selly to come around the final couple of turns, but he is off of his time. He's actually going to try and improve here. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it. He just barely does, and is barely even able to improve on his track position. Here we go, we're on board with Monkey Mafia. He's on his out lap, coming through turn 9 and 10. See, he is the best. He's going to be under a lot more pressure this year. I will say that. There's some quick drivers now. If it's not this year, it'll definitely be next season, because next season we're going to have some of the Division 2 drivers coming up. And Division 2 has a lot of really fast guys down there. Cake going over 8th. Is Jin coming over for another lap? He is, but he's not. He's getting a lot of laps on these mediums here. Dace has some speed here. What can Dace do? He goes over 3rd, 6/10 off the pace. We're going to have Impossible Bacon representing the Haas this year. Season 5 is well underway now. Okay, so we have the 3 guys who are able to set laps right now, or at least who are on a hot lap, currently following each other, as we got the dynamic duo of Mother Ellie and Juju. And a little bit of a slipstream from Detail on Super Ninas. So some early teamwork here. And a purple Sector 2 from Ninas. Impossible Bacon does lead this trio, but he is on the medium, so he needs quite the lap to get into the top 10 on that. Right now, Scuba Steve and Jin are currently in the top 10 on the mediums. We'll see if Impossible is able to do it as well. Of course, he did have some fine form in the last couple of races. Does go 8th, so sitting decently well right here. Monkey Mafia goes 14th. And Super Ninas coming out the final turn goes over the line in 8th. So pushing Impossible Bacon down. I think Scavney is coming around to start another hot lap. Detail. Imagine is starting a hot lap. Yes, he is. Will-Ann's trying to give Impossible a tow here. I'm not sure how much he exactly did there. Oh, wow, that is cheeky. Will giving Impossible back-to-back tows. Impossible is very low on battery though, so that's something to remember. See how much Impossible can improve. I didn't catch a Sector 2 splits here. Will-Ann's is on an out lap, so Impossible should return that favor. Aston Martin of Ryan Rods starting his hot lap, formerly known as V-Shoots Green. And Impossible actually just dives into the pit. So Scavney looking to get his first time of the season on the board. I think Will-Ann's is spun out around the final turn there. Yeah, he's riding the pit wall. Scavney goes over 8th. Detail in 17th, not what he was hoping for. Hash starting a hot lap. Got that one wrong. Mystic starting a hot lap as well. I think Helg starting a hot lap. Is that JC Blackley? Yes it is. Coming around the final turn, where does he go? 11th. Hash, saw purple sector 1 there. Smith Pell on a hot lap as well, so a lot of drivers coming out for their second attempted lap. Sui starting one. This is Ryan Rods, no Jin is coming over. Ryan Rods is to finish up his second hot lap here. We'll see where he can go. He's got some serious pace as well, so some podiums in the cards for him, for sure. And here we go, he goes over 3rd. 3/10 off the pace of Mystic Joker's quickest time. Enas is invalid. Not sure if Scavney's going to ride this one out. He's low on fuel. It looks like he's into the pit. Will-Ann's is into the pit as well, still without a hot lap. We've just lost Smith Pell here, so Smith Pell has taken a lap that he's put in. Hash goes over 4th. Detail invalid. Mystic Joker over the line, improves into the 134.7. Asking more from Matt Rosie. Hell comes into the pit, currently sitting 10th. Murfincelli 6/10 down, or up, and he goes 8th, pushing Helg outside the top 10. Sui next over. I believe it's Yolmir to follow. Sui holding 18th. Is that JC Blackley? Yes it is, but he's into the pit. Jin comes into the pit as well. We will have one more go at it. F1 cars go for yes they do. Who's your pick for a podium here there, McCracker Jack? If you freaking know so much about F1. Obviously you know they go Brewer. Mr. Moderator, who doesn't mod ever, has that tag. Doesn't support, but hey, that's okay. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, Noah with another follow. Thank you very much. I don't always bash my moderators, Noah, so I don't think if you're pursuing to be a moderator here, I'm not just going to bully you. I may, but I also may not. I believe that's Sui to come over. Nope, Mr. Joker's into the pit. Sui is coming around sector 3 though. lovely Thursday evening, wherever you are in the world, whether it being Thursday, Friday. I don't think it can be possibly a Wednesday for anyone unless there's a different calendar system that I am unaware of. So Smith Pell with the first quali DNF of the season. Will Ans still without a time. The Cracker Jack still without a sub. And Midwest F1 League, curious on what they've done wrong. Scavney will come around for his final hot lap. That should be it for him. He does have a chance to chalk this one up with any mistake and attempt it again. He'll be looking at a solid quali here. A lot of familiar faces up in the front. D3 is a different animal. I could imagine. Pork, you're gonna be down in Div 6 soon if you're not careful. Scavney with a nice little toe from Helg there. Lots of team orders coming into play, and Scavney a wee bit too aggressive there and finds himself with an invalidated lap. He will have enough time to go for it again. Some more team play. Cake helping out Scuba Steve. Scuba does not go invalid there. But now this is a tough area here because Scavney and Helg both need to go for another hot lap. They don't have enough time to go around track and to start another one. This is it for these drivers. Scuba, I'm sure he won't chalk this one up, so this is virtually his one go at it. 135.4, damn. Scuba coming around the final turn, and oh no, crashes in an awful area, cannot finish off his lap, and that is not what you want to see. Another driver gone, and Murfincelli, oh, Murfincelli's retired. So here we go, a lot of these drivers are going to come over to start their final go, the last kick of the can, if you will. Where's Detail exactly? Detail is following a big group. There's a big group. And Detail's got to weave his way all the way through them. A lot of these drivers are looking to start their final hot lap. Detail's just trying to finish his. Sui out of the way. Lots of traffic for Detail. Able to fight through fairly well, and he goes into 16th. So here we go, Scavney. Oh, how is that not invalid? Pushes the track limits to the absolute peak, and oh, nearly bins it like Scuba Steve, but jumps up to 9th. Where can Hell go? Hell comes over in 10th. Mercedes are starting 9-10 as it stands right now. Qualifying session is over. These times are going to start flying in real quick. Gonna have to be quick with me thumbs. Who is that? That's got to be Yolmir. Yes, it is. Yolmir chalks it up. Doesn't feel like that was good enough. Into the pit he comes. Jin currently sitting 12th. Taking a run at it now with some softs. Didn't feel good last time. Coming around the final couple of turns goes Jin, Matt Rosie, and then Ryan Rotz. Three drivers that can compete for pole here. Jin goes third. Matt Rosie still sitting in second. Where can he go? Improves but can't quite improve enough. Ryan Rods doesn't look like he's got enough time taken off unless he absolutely botched sector 3, but no. He's able to get third. Mystic Joker sitting with pole. Is that Kim coming on the final turn? Yes, it is, but he's into the pit. Impossible Bacon and then Hash right behind. So Impossible 6th, Hash holds 7th. Sui goes 16th. No difference from JC Blackley. Dace goes into 3rd. Super Ninas 14th. Will Ans looking to improve on his time and actually will just come into the pit. No qualifying time set for Will, so that will not make him valid for hardest charger, and that sees the end to our very first qualifying, because Detail is very much out of this one. So Matt Rosie put on quite a fight there, but couldn't quite get Mystic. Dace is able to edge the two Aston Martins for 4th and 5th. Sitting in 3rd is Dace. Impossible Bacon with the solid 6th. Hash, our runner-up from last year's championship, starts 7th. Scuba Steve is going to be the only driver on the mediums. He'll line up with Scavney, and we'll finish that all off once we get the timing sheets up. Here we go, we'll run through that once more for you. Mystic Joker taking the first pole of Season 5, Matt Rosie 2nd. Don't know why he's taking off the Canadian flag, Matt. I'm going to have a discussion with him. Dace in 3rd, Ryan Rod's 4th, Jin alongside his countrymate Impossible Bacon for 5th and 6th, Hash in 7th with Yolmir in 8th, Scuba Steve and Scavney in 9-10, Hell, Galong, Murph and Selly, Cake Thomas in somewhat of a disappointing, I think he'd say, 13th place, Super Ninas 14th, JC Blackley 15th, Sue Wee 16th, with Detail and Smith Powell alongside each other. Smith Powell, of course, crashing out. The Monkey Mafia can't quite find the pace, and he's going to line up in the back with Will Ans. Yes, but we'll go into a couple notes looking into this season. So Mystic won Season 4 with 1,515 points. That's kind of a fun one. Clinching with 2 races to go, or actually 1 race to go. He clinched in the second last race of the season. Hash was very consistent, not winning a race, but finished 2nd in the standings overall. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do that with a couple of quick drivers stepping up here. Jin needs to find himself some consistency. Did not have that at the beginning of the year. Found it kind of closer to the end of the year and found himself ending up 3rd. So if he can maybe consistency throughout the entire session or the season, then he can find himself potentially 2nd or battling for 1st. With how inconsistent he was, he did a great job of finding himself 3rd, and 2nd is definitely very much in the cards for him, if not 1st. Aston Martin have somewhat of a powerhouse team with having Jin and Ryan Rods. So they're a team to look out for sure. It's going to be really tough for Alpha to repeat this year. My prediction is that they won't, unfortunately. I don't think Sui and Mystic have what it takes overall to compete with the 2 Aston Martins of Ryan Rods and Jin, a couple of drivers that we could see winning some races here. But Mystic, I have him spotted for a 3-peat here. I think he's going to do it. He has, I don't think there's quite anyone right now that could duke it out with him in the consistent fashion that he's able to do so, and I think that his consistency will win out and a 3rd championship will happen. Season 6 will be a different story, so we'll see about that, but Season 5 I still think he's got what it takes to take home the championship, but I don't think Alfa Romeo is going to win Scuba Steve and Cake Thomas. Scuba had a very unlucky year last year, and he's looking for a lot more consistency this year. So I imagine we're going to see the Red Bull team of Scuba and Cake very high up in the Constructors' Championship. But quickly, I had some pre-race question for the drivers. I said, first half, are you happy with the constructors that you've gotten? Nothing against your teammate. JC Blackley responds, Alpha is one of my favorite cars, so it'll do. Monkey Mafia responds, Williams is my favorite one, or is my number one choice. The fact that I got it is good shiznit, and a good sign for this season. Starting 19th place isn't the best, but that is okay. It leaves them very much open for hardest charger. Detail responds with pretty happy with Alpine. Cool engine sound, nice livery, no complaints. And then second question is, what's your goal as well as your team goal for the season? So we'll continue on. Will Ans is, my goal is to be there or thereabouts at the top of the field. Winning championships would be too ambitious, but I want to be in the top group. As for my team goal, I think myself and Impossible can win this shit for real. Dace responding, my goal for Alpha is to be top 2, the Alpha Autori team. For myself to be in the mix for the top 4 drivers, says Dace. Jin, properly contend for the title, keeping consistent as with a few others. I think we have a solid chance as constructors too. I agree, Jen. Super responds with drivers top 10, constructors top 5. Matt Rosie, drivers top 3, constructors first. So Matt Rosie and Smith Pell looking at the top spot as well. Hash, top 3 in drivers and constructors, hoping for our first win in Division 1 too. I could see that happening. Hash is very consistent, and he hasn't quite had the luck to get the full pole win. So maybe it might be in the cards here, starting 7th. We'll see how it goes. We're about to go live here in Abu Dhabi for the first race of Season 5. Mystic leads us. We'll see if he can take it into Turn 1. He's got Matt Rosie up the inside line, and the lights are out. And Mystic, it's a really good jump. Doesn't look like Matt Rosie's going to be able to fight him. Ryan Rod's already looking at the inside line of Dace. Seems to have it, but Dace does a really good job standing around the outside. Jin's on the outside looking in there. Ryan Rods comes back through and gets 3rd place. Dace falling back into 4th, not giving up. But Ryan Rods has the inside. Actually, sorry, that's Jin. Jin's actually able to overtake Dace, and Dace finds himself in 5th place now. Impossible overtaking Hash, and a little bit of a spin there from Dace. Everyone's able to avoid. The pack is very tight, especially in that later midfield there. We got 5 drivers so very close to each other. Smith Pell rounding out that back there. Hash already dropping back into 9th. Will Ants with a really good run on Sui, and he's going to drag him down into the turn. Mystic leads us into turn 8. Jin is following his teammate Ryan Rods through. We'll see how long that happens, or if Ryan Rods is able to break or is able to keep pace. Impossible Bacon right now 5th, 1.25 seconds back of the drivers ahead. Scuba Steve, he's looking to try and catch up to the drivers, doesn't want to let those guys get too far, and he's right on the back of Impossible Bacon. Helg very much on the back of Yolmir as well. We have some battles going into turn 12 and 13 here, and it's going to continue with Will Ans getting an overtake on Super Ninas as he's already up into 14th place. Cake Thomas getting overtaken by Smith Pells. Cake Thomas is already down into 17th. We'll take a quick peek at the tire compounds here. Helg on the medium, Smurf on the medium, Scuba in the top 10 starting on the medium, so a good start from him. But Cake, Smith Pell, and Sui also on the medium, but not having as good a start. And we look at the position changes, and Smith Pell has gained 2 positions, but all the other drivers on the mediums, except for Cake and Sui have gained position, so not the start that you want, but still very early. A lot can happen here. We enter through the end of Sector 1. Mystic still leads us. Matt Rosie still holding pace. Ryan Rod's just falling outside. I wonder if Jin's going to be impatient with his teammate here, hoping that he'll let him through. But he may have to pass him the old-fashioned way, and a gap of 3/10 exiting the turn will surely help. He's not actually using DRS. I think Ryan Rods is actually wanting him to go through, but no, he allows him to stay ahead. Doesn't want to battle too hard, but I feel like Ryan Rods is saying, go man, carry me, drag me with you. And now Jin activates ERS, and now he's into the slipstream of Ryan Rods, but once again doesn't want to battle him. And these guys need to figure it out, because the more that they kind of tango, and it doesn't even look like it's a tango, they don't even want to battle with each other, but the more they screw around, the farther up the road Matt Rosie and Mystic get. Dace losing some positions off the start. Now down in 7th. Scuba Steve on the mediums up ahead of him in 6th. Goes off track a little bit, but Dace won't be able to take advantage of that one there. Ooh, yellow flag in sector 2. That's Yolmir spun. Whereas he's trying to, I think that was just a flick to get him out of the way of everyone. But he's down in 20th now. He sees the pack just ahead, but the pack is staying very close. But now here we go. Jin's going to get the overtake on his teammate. He goes up into 3rd. Now he's got a little bit of a gap to close now with the drivers ahead. But he does have some breathing room, no pressure behind with his teammate, and I think his teammate's just going to try and follow him through. But a move down the inside from Murph and Selly on Will Ans. But Will is able to hold the position, and Murph goes right up and over the curb. And Impossible looks like he's actually coming at Ryan Rods here, but Ryan Rods closes the door through turn 12 and firmly holds on to 4th place through turn 14 and 15. Jin 3.5 seconds back. He might be able to close that gap, but he's really got to push. And Jin can find himself in penalty troubles when he does push too hard. Matt Rosie still within a half a second of Mystic. We'll see if Matt can keep up this pace. Of course, we do know that Matt is a very quick driver. But we don't know how much Mystic is struggling here, if he is at all. And as well as how much Matt is pushing into these tires. Finding a little bit of difficulties to try and follow him close through sector 1. But DRS surely helps Matt to stay close to Mystic here. And another yellow flag that looks like it's Yolmir once again. Impossible Bacon's going to try and make a move on Ryan Rods. And Ryan goes to defend the inside line. Impossible goes straight through on the outside and has zero competition going into turn 8. Goes a little bit up and over the curb there. Will Ans getting another position, overtaking Scavney, while Detail in the back of the pack there getting a position on Sui. Ryan Rods comes back through on Impossible Bacon. He goes back into 4th place. Impossible drops back into 5th. Matt still staying close to Mystic, and these drivers, this pack isn't loosening up at all. This is nice. Super Ninas, I think he's binned it there. Yeah, he's lost it. And Monkey Mafia goes through on Sui. Monkey's up into 17th now. And Yolmir loses it, and that will bring out a safety car. I don't know. I don't think that warranted a safety car. He's way back there, but a safety car we get on lap 5. Matt Rosie was able to keep the pace with Mystic. We'll see if anyone pulls the trigger on some pits. Who could potentially? I mean, Super Ninas, maybe. Detail Monkey Mafia, they might be able to go onto hards, but does hards have enough speed really to keep you going and to keep some pace, or are you just going to lose major pace and then just wish that you never did that change? yeah, here we go. So the top. Oh wow, all these drivers are coming into the pit. So Ryan Rods does get slowed up a little bit. And Impossible is going to come out ahead. So Monkey stays out. And he's going to go into 5th. Ahead of Jin. Sui stays out. And he'll go all the way up into 8th. But Cake, Helg, and Scuba are all sitting 1, 2, 3 on some old mediums, or I guess 5 lap mediums, but so we might actually get the safety car in this lap. Ooh, Electric Blade with the follow. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. First safety car of Season 5. Of course, race week 1 of Season 5. Next up on the calendar is, of course, Suzuka. Whoa, yes. Suzuka is to follow Abu Dhabi. Little different pace, but surely will be fun. The S-Curves, 130R, it's got a lot of fun things going for it. Of course, one of the 2 FIA approved figure 8 tracks in the entire world. So Suzuka's got its own little quirks to it. A lot of people can dislike that course, but a lot of people can love it as well. So we'll see who will be on top at the end. But that'll of course be in 3 weeks time. Yes, this is the first race of Season 5, and then we won't be seeing any of you until the new year. So maybe a stream might happen at some point, but we will see. The safety car is still going around once more. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, then you can check out our Division 1 driver lineup. So to recap you a little bit, Mystic Joker and Sui, the brother tandem, won Season 4 in Constructors. Mystic Joker led the way and took home the Drivers' Championship. But we have a very loaded Aston Martin team and a very loaded Red Bull team, and as well as a couple of teams that think that they've got the stuff. Matt Rosie and Smith Pell, very consistent. And we'll see. Impossible Bacon and Will Ann, somewhat of a dark horse in the Haas, so a lot to be played for here. And this of course all starts here in Abu Dhabi, so it's a good time to tune in. Unretired MJ, hey, Seaberry, good to see you in chat. So here we go, safety car is in this lap. We're about to get right back into it. We are currently on lap 7, we'll get on to lap 8, 21 full laps to go. A lot of drivers have pitted and put on fresh mediums. We'll see what the pit stop strategies will play out. Matt Rosie, of course, stayed close to Mystic Joker's pace. Now we'll see what these guys can do to clear the field ahead, but they don't have any slouches of drivers up ahead. Cake Thomas, Helg, and Scuba Steve all have pace in their own regard. So we are currently in the back of the pack. We'll jump all the way up onto Matt Rosie and see what him and Mystic can do. Of course, he's got Monkey Mafia behind him on some old mediums, and Jin on some fresh mediums. Doesn't want to, get caught up in the traffic in front and allow Mystic and Matt to go too far. But we restart here. Scuba Steve comes around the final turn. Mystic Joker gets a really good timed restart on Cake. Cake a little bit off the pace 3/4 of a second back, right up on the tail of Cake Thomas. But Cake's parking the car where it needs to be put, and Mystic Joker is trying to look for an area to overtake Cake, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. The longer Cake holds up Mystic, the farther Scuba can get up the road. Cake going very deep, looking for a good launch, doesn't quite get it. Mystic Joker gets a good one, but Matt Rosie is going to get the slipstream here. And Matt trying to figure out what slipstream he wants. Cake Thomas is able to outpace Mystic Joker and then enter the turn wheel to wheel, and is able to get a little bit of space, pushes Mystic off wide, and this is a very important battle here. Matt Rosie is able to get alongside Mystic Joker with the battle between Mystic and Cake. Cake is now trying to find himself back into the battle, and Mystic goes down the inside line. Cake backs out. Matt Rosie unfortunately not able to get the overtake on Mystic, but Mystic is able to hold through. Jin is able to get through on Monkey Mafia, and has now got to work on Cake Thomas himself. Ryan Rods, losing quite a few positions from the pit stop, now down in 11th, is able to get the Alfa Romeo teammate of Mystic, Sui, for 11th place. Sui, of course, still yet to pit as well. Jin very much pushing the limits here. And it looks like Ryan Rods is actually spun. Ryan Rods facing the wrong way, spins himself back straight. Mystic following Helg through Sector 1 now. Cake Perez. Dace getting Monkey Mafia. Hash trying to get Monkey Mafia. Or sorry, Impossible trying to get Monkey Mafia. Hash just in behind Monkey. Monkey's really in some under fire here. The bold strategy to stay out is not quite helping Monkey here. But I mean, it's either pit for mediums or go out for, or, sorry, pit for hards or pit for a two-stop strategy. But here we go, Jin and Cake battling it. Cake once again trying to fight out, but Jin goes through. And now Mystic's trying to get an overtake on Helg. Helg looks like he's going to push him out wide. No, Helg just allows him to go through. Knows that that's not his race. And Mystic clears the position. Now Matt Rosie's caught a little bit behind Helg here. Needs to clear him. And with every turn, Mystic just breaks away a little bit farther. But Scuba Steve's got some real pace, so we'll see how long he'll be able to hold up Mystic. And Matt Rosie can get his chance to break through Helg. Sees a little bit of a gap, but Helg closes it. Just a little bit off the pace is Helg. And you can see Mystic just creeping farther and farther. DRS is enabled. Mystic Joker takes the fastest lap. Cool, but we're PS4 if that changes anything for you. And we have quite the waiting list, not gonna lie. But we do waitlist Wednesdays for everyone not in a division that would like to race. Mystic Joker should clear Scuba Steve here. We'll see if Scuba's going to be able to hold him off. Matt Rosie already overtaking Helg as well. The Mystic Joker clears Scuba and he goes back up into, or up PS4 PlayStation. Yeah, okay, sounds good. I'll there you go. No, I mean, a follow on the Twitch channel may help you out, but I can't promise anything. Jin gets through and he's up into 4th now. Net's 3rd, really. Matt Rosie, he's got to try and close that gap to Scuba Steve. Mystic Joker's able to break away. That well-timed pass that Mystic had to trap Matt Rosie behind Helg going through Sector 3 has worked wonders for him. Now he's got 2 seconds from himself to Matt Rosie. And Matt Rosie's got to try and work himself past Scuba Steve. Jin taking fastest lap. was hoping that Scuba could hold him up a little bit longer, but Mystic is just able to pull away. Matt just can't get the job done on Scuba quite yet. DRS should help him through. Does still need to get the move done. And I imagine Scuba thinks here he's probably battling for position as well. But a good run out of the final turn from Matt. He'll get DRS into the slipstream and then flies right through him. Jin won't be able to overtake. Jin is absolutely drained on ERS as well. We hit the hard braking zone of turn 8 and come through the chicane. Scuba Steve getting DRS, that'll help him. Jin won't be able to catch up to him. Impossible, Cake and Hash all in a three-way battle here. We got 3 cars in behind them as well. With Cake leading this trio here into turn 11, and ooh, Hash and Impossible get really close and some contact there. And Hash is in a really sticky situation, but he's got a little bit of a gap and is able to flick spin himself back onto track, and he's down into a 12th. Unfortunate stuff there, but not the worst. Matt Rosie now is 2.5 back of Mystic. Now it's Jin's turn to try and clear Scuba. Impossible Bacon as well, trying to get through Cake. Dace getting close, so a lot of these kind of drivers yet to pit are no, this is actually the first round of season 5. But we constantly have people not able to show, so if you check in every week, we have 6 divisions, so we can more than likely get you in a division every week. Just got to check in and then stay on top when it's race day, and be sure to keep your eyes open on the Discord page, and we can find you a division to race in. Hell goes through, Impossible goes through, Scavney now stuck in behind. Matt Rosie still holding that 1.4 second gap behind Mystic. We'll see if these drivers try and make this last the whole race. It's still very close, no one really fallen quite off the pace. Ryan Rods and Monkey Mafia both, of course, have found some difficulties, which is the reason why they're very disconnected from pack. Impossible Bacon was at one point up with this lead group, but found himself in a little bit of traffic and has cleared it, and he's holding on to 7th. His teammate, the Will Ants, started 20th, cleared some traffic, and oh no, spins, and there he goes. Oh, you love to see it. Well, if you'll excuse me. Okay, as expected, there's a safety car here. Will Ands, another DNF driver here. The full track map, thank you very much. Everyone stay out. Everyone except Scuba Steve. Matt Rosie actually came in for some fresh mediums. Impossible Bacon now sitting second. Scavney sitting third. Murph sitting fourth. Hash is sitting fifth. Helg throwing on a set of softs here. Scuba forced onto the hards, and he's going to have to ride the hards for the rest of this race. Unless another safety car comes out, then he might be able to throw onto the softs. And thank you, Cool Boy, for the follow, and I'm hoping that link works for you. I'll have to update that one. I didn't know that didn't work. Thank you for letting me know. We should go around once more with the safety car, and then it will come in, and we'll be back at it. But yeah, Cool Boy, we have a, I'll put this in for you as well. If you're interested, you can go check out our past races. Of course, like I said, this is season 5, so we got 4 seasons of history in that YouTube page, along with other divisions and some fun races from time to time. So more than just a Thursday night division racing. Division racing is our big one. Of course, like I said, 6 divisions deep, so there's a lot of drivers you got to keep on top of. But we try and keep other things and other days of the week entertained as well. But once again, I'll thank everyone for tuning in. I appreciate the viewership on this Thursday evening, and I'm hoping that you're having as good of a time as I am. A little bit of a game crash doesn't hurt anyone. I mean, it happens from time to time, so is what it is. We didn't miss much. We saw Willands crashing, and then that seemed to have crashed our game as well. So that is a Haas out. This is a safety car in. That is a Mystic Joker still leading this race, Impossible Bacon, the other Haas sitting second. So we'll see if he's going to be able to keep pace with Mystic here. Scavney third. Big jumps from him. He started this race in 10th and finds himself currently on the final step of the podium. Murphinselli and Hash, the number 2 Ferrari. The Ferrari, which was second in the Constructors' Championship last season, is sitting 4-5, so that's good points for them. But consistency is what got them there, and we'll see if they can start with a solid week 1. And we can't forget about the former Alpine teammates of Matt Rosie and Smith Pell, now switched to the Papaya Orange in the McLaren. So 6th and 7th right now. They're probably looking to carry over that IRL F1 competition between the Ferraris and the McLarens. Ferrari, of course, got the better in the 2021 season, and we'll see if the McLarens can get the better here. We restart here. Mystic Joker comes over the line, gets us going on lap 16. His direct competitor decided to pit, and that is Matt Rosie in 6th place. So he's got quite a few cars to clear, but he does have 9 lap fresher mediums. So we'll see if he can get it done. And all the drivers ahead of him are on old mediums. So it is a possibility, but a big ask for Matt Rosie, and we'll see if he can do it. I mean, clean air is a lot more likely. Murphinselli already allowing Hash through, and by doing so, it looks like he's going to actually let Matt Rosie through. And I'm not sure he's going to battle this one too hard. Murph probably understands that this is not his direct competition. And yes, Matt Rosie goes up into 5th place. So a quick pass for him. And Impossible Bacon has got to try and stay in that DRS. Can't allow Mystic Joker already break out. Of course, they had a drag race to the line in the final race of Season 4. So a little bit of history between those two drivers. Overtakes throughout the track. Scuba Steve losing some positions on those hards. This is not what he was hoping for, and he's going to continually drop back. Ryan Rod's trying to regain some points. Cake Thomas as well on the hards. Both Red Bulls on the hards. Oh, goodness gracious, that is a really rough time. And they're slowly dropping down the order. And now the Aston Martins both find themselves back into the top 10. Matt Rosie draped all over Hash. racing next week, I believe it is. Honestly, I think it's the new year. And here we go, Matt Rosie. Can he get Hash into turn 1? No, that straight just isn't long enough. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Just if you look at Thursday sign up, just put your name in. I think you might have already. And then every week you check in with a thumbs up saying that you're available to reserve. And both Red Bulls come into the pit for new tires. Matt Rosie is having a little bit of troubles trying to get through Hash here. Mystic Joker is slowly able to pull away. Matt's got to hope that he can overtake Hash, but Hash is getting a little bit of a tow from Scavney. But Hash overshoots the braking point, and that's going to allow Matt Rosie right behind Hash into the slipstream. ERS activated. But will he be able to get alongside Hash? He's going to have to go for a little bit of a lunge, but Hash just has enough pace to edge him out. Matt Rosie's still stuck in 5th. Fastest lap currently sits with Jin right now with the 1:38.451. So Scavney somewhat getting Hash a little bit of a tow here, but from this, it's creating a lot of it's creating dirty air for Matt and making it a lot more difficult for Matt to overtake Hash. And with every turn, Mystic just gets that little bit farther. Sector 3, we got a spin that looks like it might be Monkey Mafia. He spun out and around the final turn. He's actually going to come into the pit. Murphincelli into the pit also. DRS is now available. And Matt Rosie gets a really good run out of the final turn, but now he's got to drag Hash, as Hash has got DRS as well. Matt Rosie, is just able to edge out the inside line. He's got the car fully ahead and nearly is able to jump down. Goes right up and over the curve though. And a little bit of oversteer there, and that allows Hash back through. So all that work from Matt is all undone with Hash being able to go back through with the oversteer from Matt and still sitting in 5th. Oh, and then we got Smith Pell and Jin, and Smith Pell is able to edge out, or sorry, Jin's able to edge out Smith Pell, and that's not good news for Matt, as now Jin can start working on catching up to Matt. But very big as Hash right now does not have DRS on Scavney. A little bit of server lag there. Artist Charger currently sitting with Smith Pell, qualifying 18th, and into the pit he comes. And Helg also into the pit. Matt Rosie very close onto the back of Hash. Here we go. This is time for Matt to come back at Hash. Hash is very low on ERS. Matt is just able to blow right past him. Hash pushes him right to the edge, but Matt's able to get through and work all his way back into the racing line. And he goes up into 4th. Needed one extra lap to do it, but he gets through. And things aren't over for Hash here. He's got Jin behind him, and as well Scavney up ahead. And Scavney's actually closed the gap on him. Bacon's out, dropped into 3rd place now. Mystic's now opened up a 3-second gap at the front. And with all the battling behind, it's just making it all so much easier. Even with how still close these cars are, Mystic's been somewhat not under fire. Everyone else except for him is battling. They're all working against each other in a way. Dace and Cake battling it out in 12th and 13th. Now with Impossible actually losing a position to Scavney, things have actually kind of somewhat gotten more difficult for Rosie to try and get through. Because now he's got to overtake Impossible as well, and Impossible at one point was way up the road and would have allowed Matt ample amount of time to kind of close that gap. Scavney looks like he gets a little oversteer. Matt Rosie's already going to get Impossible Bacon, and he actually should be able to get Scavney. Gets both drivers in a straight, so that'll make things a lot easier. Is Impossible going to dive back down? No, he's not. Impossible's able to get back past Scavney and hold on to third place. Scavney in fourth with a penalty, of course, just 3 seconds worth. Jin slowly closing that gap back down to Hash. On lap 20, Mystic Joker is 3.7 seconds ahead, and Impossible Bacon tries to come back at Matt Rosie, and that is just the worst thing possible for Rosie. As now these medium tires are just getting wasted. Impossible Bacon doing Mystic a favor here by battling it out with Matt. Matt will be able to win this battle in the end, you must imagine, with the difference of tires is just far too big. Impossible Bacon maybe getting a little bit too hungry, a little bit too soon. He's doing nothing but sewering both of each other's races at a potential win. An OG battle there. Helg and Monkey Mafia. As Helg is able to get Monkey Mafia. .3 is the gap. Once again, Helg should be able to clear Impossible Bacon. Not even using ERS. Impossible looks to just let him go. But Matt's got a little bit of ERS saved in defense here. And the far better launch out, and yeah, I think that's it. I don't think Impossible is going to be able to catch Matt now. Way too far ahead. He's going to enter the turn with no pressure, and he's safely held on to second place and has finally got himself a little bit of breathing room and can look at closing that gap, but it's just a little bit too late now. He does have an 8-lap tire advantage on Mystic, but with all that battling and re-overtaking that he had to do, things just got harder every lap for Matt. And now Impossible is slowly falling off the pace. Matt might even be able to shake him out of DRS range. And he's already done that. So he's got to have a clean sector 1, Matt, and he's got zero pressure behind. Impossible. Same thing, 8-lap older tires than Matt. We swing our way through sector 1. Sui into the pit. JC Blackley stays out. Holds on to 8th. We'll see how far down Sui will drop. Oh, Scuba's getting a little ambitious into turn 1. Monkey Mafia leaves him just barely enough room, if that. Now Jin's on the back of Hash here. Jin's podium might be gone, but an overtake on Hash here might make it happen, and Jin wanted to shoot it down, but Hash closed the door. Matt is slowly closing that gap to Mystic, but like I said, a little too late. The strategy could have worked. We will have 6 full laps. but he needs to take a half a second each lap, and then on top of that, get the overtake. Mystic doesn't have the most amount of ERS storage, so it makes you think that he is pushing. He does understand the pressure. You've probably seen Matt Rosie work his way up through the field now. Ooh, Scuba Ski and Monkey Mafia get into it? One thing's for sure is Monkey Mafia's got some absolutely crazy hot tires. I think Monkey spun again. Can't cool down those tires. Not the finish that he was hoping for in his Division 1 return. Once again, Jin's looking to come back at Hash, but just not close enough. He has to absolutely pound the brake pedal through the floor to get that car slowed down in time. Fastest lap currently sitting with Dace with a 138 flat. You'd love to see that. Ooh, but Dace picking up a 3-second time penalty. Dace will actually come into the pit. Four laps to go. He's already got the fastest lap locked in. Impossible Bacon's got a second and change up ahead of Scavney, and Scavney's got that penalty. So Impossible virtually has 4 seconds back. He is holding on to fastest lap. Or sorry, he is holding on to the final podium position. Looks like Jin's going to let his teammate Ryan Rods go through. Allow him to attack Hash. Of the two Aston Martin drivers working together. Ryan Rods is on far older mediums, but Jin does have that 3-second time penalty, and they've got a 15-second buffer period in behind. Smith Pell on detail. On those softs, Smith Pell goes through down the inside line into turn 11. Up into 9th place, getting some extra points, and detail does have a couple of laps to try and make that back. Smith Pell softs may fall off a little bit, but still some laps to go. You never know what might happen. It might be a Latifi, who knows. Monkey Mafia is in that Williams, do not count that out. Ryan Rod's now looking at his chance to try and overtake Hash. Jin had a couple of goes at it, couldn't quite get it. Hash gets a good launch out. Ryan Rods is still in DRS range. And he's seeing that slipstream making up the ground, but Hash closes the outside line. And Ryan Rods doesn't want to attempt it here. He's going to follow him through turn 8 and 9. And he's going to hold a really good launch, and he's right on the tail of Hash here. Should get the overtake done in this DRS straight, and has the position into the brake zone of turn 11. And now he's going to try and look to break away. But of course, 18 lap old tires for Hash, 15 lap old tires for Ryan Rods. Jin just sitting in behind with 10 lap old tires. Matt Rosie has closed that gap a little bit, but it's just not coming down enough and quick enough. And Possible Bacon once again must have made some sort of mistake with Scavney closing that once again, Ryan Rods has a potential of 3rd or 4th place with the penalty to Scavney. He does have to keep his nose clean. And same with Hash. If Hash is able to stay close enough to Ryan Rods, and they're able to close the gap, Scavney might drop all the way back to 6th with those 2 drivers jumping up ahead. We're on lap 26 here. Mystic's got a 3-second gap to Matt Rosie. A little bit different of tire strategy for these two. And it's played out with Mystic having a 2.8 second lead with 2 full laps to go as we're on lap 28. Matt is starting to eat away at that gap a little bit, but I'm not sure if Mystic Joker's tires are falling off quick enough. Matt Rosie, of course, has a lot of tire left in comparison to Mystic. Jin gets through Hash, so that's not good news for Hash for his bout for 5th place. He will get 6th at least, but had a potential for 5th place with Scavney dropping back, but it's not looking likely. Smith-Pill getting another position, he goes up into 8th. These late softs are working a couple positions for Smith-Pill here. Overtook Detail a little while ago and was able to close the gap to JC Blackley and overtake him. So you see 2 McLarens in the top 10, and top 8 to be exact. So not a bad drive from these guys to start their season. Yellow flag in sector 2, and oh no, that's Jin spun around. Does he still have wing? Looks like he does. That gap back to Smith-Pell is really low and unfortunately spins again. And he's going to enter the pit. And a rough go for Jin there. Will he put on some softs and come out and go for fastest lap? Looks like he is. Matt does have that gap down to 1.8. Murph and Selly has lost it now in sector 1. Jin comes back out in 14th. Should be able to overtake Murph and Sally with Murph having some hot tires. Scavney getting very close to Bacon, but not quite close enough. So Jin on some super fresh softs, Murph on some older softs and some real hot softs. No real competition there, and I think Murph understood that. He is into the slipstream though on Jin. Slowly closing the gap, but now it doesn't look like it'll be closed quick enough, and I don't know if Murph will try and attempt that as well. So we're on the final lap here, and Matt Rosie has found himself 1.2 seconds back of Mystic. Mystic might be babying these mediums here, so he might have a potential. And Matt is absolutely pushing the ever-living heck out of these. But was he able to get DRS? I don't think so. No, he was not. Very important. He's absolutely bleeding every little bit of ERS he's got. He will be able to get ERS coming through this next ERS straight, but he could just use one more lap. But you can see how much gap he's making up with each turn. He's getting very close. He's closed a major gap in the last couple of laps here. It's going to come down to the final sector, but it is a difficult sector to overtake. And Matt is completely out of ERS. Mystic is absolutely blood drive ERS. Scavney is finally able to overtake Impossible Bacon, but Impossible, of course, has those penalties. Ryan Rods is actually having potential for a final podium, and everything's really cooking up here on the final lap. But Mystic Joker, I think, is going to be able to take home the first win of Season 5. Matt Rosie is just one lap too late. Those mediums may have fallen off for Mystic, and Matt potentially had the proper strategy, but just got caught in traffic a little bit too much as they come over for a 1-2. Ryan Rod's wanting to overtake Impossible Bacon, looking for a podium, but just can't do it. And Impossible Bacon's going to come over third with Ryan Rod's fourth and Scavney dropping back into fifth. Looking at our hardest charger here, it's seemingly going to go to Smith Pell, picking up 11 positions. Monkey Mafia coming over 17th, one lap down, not his return back to Division 1 he was hoping for. But if you'll hold on, I will quickly get all the drivers in for, or I'll get the top 3 drivers as well as Smith Pell, the hardest charger, in for an interview. So Mother Ellie, how much does Mystic Joker's character actually look like him, IRL? There you go, you can see the final standings for yourself. First race ends with Mystic Joker winning it by a half a second to Matt Rosie. Impossible Bacon third, Ryan Rod's fourth, Scavney fifth, Hash sixth, Smith Pell 7th, JC Blackley 8th, Cake Thomas 9th, Detail 10th, Helg 11th, Sui 12th, Jin to win it 13th, Murph and Sully 14th, Scuba Steve 15th, Dace PG 16th with the fastest lap, Monkey Mafia 17th, a lap back, Will and Sabrina's and Yolmir DNFing. Alright, so as per usual, I will get the drivers in for an interview in a couple of moments here, just waiting for them to join up. While that's happening, I will play you a video intro and I will go to the washroom. I don't know, Mother Ellie, just curiosity, I guess. All I know is the guy by the name and a voice. I mean, without actually knowing what the person looks like, you just kind of imagine what they look like. You have no idea. So I mean, if he looks like the video game character, I mean, that kind of like closes down the gap a little bit, at least.
To win in our case when you don't.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Let me just turn this down a little bit. All right. So Impossible, I can hear you. Yeah, Matt, Rosie, can I get a mic check quick?
Testing, testing.
Yeah, you're good. Mystic?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Smith?
Yep, I'm here.
Alright, good stuff. Alright, well thank you guys for all joining me. I'll be doing them solo from now on, as you can tell. So try and keep me on track, as you know me, I'm very good at getting distracted. So we'll start with Mystic. Now, that got extremely close. When you go back and when you see how much Matt Rosie got held up for the longest time there, I think you will be thankful on this win. And that's something I couldn't imagine you say that often. But that was very tough. How much heat did you feel on that last lap?
I mean, you know, I definitely, my tires were fried. I gambled staying out. I didn't know if that many people were gonna gamble or yeah, pit again under that second safety car. I almost did, but I decided to stay out, and that almost kind of ruined it for me. But yeah, pretty solid race up until that point. And you know, once I seen that Matt was struggling to get by a couple of those guys, and he was getting held up, I mean, yeah, for sure, I knew that was key right there. That moment is what won me the race. So if it wasn't for that, then I definitely wouldn't have been on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, you have thanks to quite a few drivers for forcing Matt to overtake him a couple of times, really. Um,
It's the name of the game, though, man. You know, you just never know. And anything can happen. So yeah, I mean, the pressure was real at the end for sure, but just try to keep it cool, try to stay composed as possible. And you know, if you would have gotten me, hey, GG's. But you know, guess it was my lucky day today somehow.
Yeah, now Matt seemed to really have the pace on you. Could you truly not shake him, or were you just keeping it, like you say, like very cool, and you weren't trying to go that extra, break that like that meter later or whatever, and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't trying to get any damage. Some of the curves around here can be pretty nasty if you take them incorrectly, and you can get damage to the car or whatever. And I just did not want that. And then you know, especially warnings too, and all that, which I don't even think I got a warning this race, which is very surprising because I usually get a penalty around here. Um, But yeah, I mean, it was just about maintaining that gap for like that first stint. You know, it was very close. He's always had great pace around here, from what I can remember. So, I mean, honestly, this and next race are pretty much damage control for me. So, and then from there, that's when the fun begins. So, I guess the fact that I managed to get P1 here on a track that I actually enjoy, but I'm not great at, is it feels good, man. And congrats to the rest of the guys as well.
Yeah, it was an exciting one. It was a lot less carnage than there was yesterday. I don't know if you caught that, but over half the grid DNF. So it was nice to see. only well, it sucks that the other guys DNF'd, but you know, it was a good race through and through. A lot of mid pack
I was
battles
pretty annoyed
and what.
with the safety cars.
Yeah,
The
no,
safety cars came
one
out at
was
a very
absolute.
bad time.
Yeah, one was garbage. I'm gonna say like the last guy in the queue like crashed out, and then everyone was just barely. I mean, they had a whole lap to go, and they called a safety car. It was kind of BS, but yeah, it's pretty dumb. But yeah, anywho, congratulations. I guess I'll be talking to you in the new year. Best of luck for this season.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got the 2 weeks off or whatever. Yeah, man, thank you. And again, massive congrats to the rest of the guys on the podium. Big props to Matt for the pace that he had and everything, man. So very much looking forward to battling him the rest of the season.
Good to hear. We'll jump over to you, Matt, if you have anything to say to Mystic about that.
Yeah, GG's, man. I mean, we were both kind of limping home at the end, but you just managed to limp that little bit better than I did. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved, man. I wouldn't have been able to catch you if there were no safety cars. Like, same strategy and everything. You were like half a tenth faster than me every lap.
Yeah, it was really tight between you guys. But how about why don't you talk about your qualifying there, Matt? Now he outpaced you by 3/10. Do you think you had that 3/10 somewhere?
Yeah, I didn't really have a great lap. I mean, I don't know, even if I had like a really good lap, I would have beat him, but I definitely had more pace than I did in that qualifying lap. I kind of screwed up sector 2. But, I mean, he was probably going to get pulled no matter what, even if I pulled out, unless I pulled out like one of the best laps I've ever done. But, yeah, I knew I'd have more race pace. I just knew Mystic also would have a lot of race pace, so I was a little nervous.
Yeah, so it's quite the bold strategy to pit in that second safety car. What kind of came over you to do that? Instead, did you just feel like you needed to do that and you couldn't rely on race pace?
Yeah, just like I said, like I didn't. It was so close in terms of pace, and once I saw him stay out, I'm like, I don't think if I pass him once, he's just gonna pass me with DRS the next lap. Like it's not gonna. Nothing's gonna happen. Like I don't know what to do in that case, and he really had me in sector 3. So I was kind of scared of losing DRS and not being able to stay with him. So I was like, the only way that I'll for sure be able to win this is if this is the last safety car and I switch tires and I'm able to clear the field pretty quickly, which it didn't take me that long, but I ended up getting floor damage, which screwed up my whole race.
Yeah, you really found some difficulties. I think Hash you had to overtake twice, and Impossible Bacon you had to overtake twice.
Yeah, see, Hash was the one. It wasn't his fault. I just tried to open up the corner a little too much and went over one of those curbs in the chicane there between the two straights.
Yeah, you went
damaged the underbody
a couple times from what I saw.
And then after that, I mean, it was just pretty much trying to keep this car in a straight line.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, Bacon, I think, was being kind and trying to let me go. And then, I mean, I got such a bad exit out of that corner because that was the first lap I was really battling the damage, and I wasn't used to it yet. And I think I probably lost a second in that corner alone. He's like, all right, well, I gotta go, otherwise someone else can overtake me.
Okay, I didn't notice that, but yeah, it was.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry, that's just what it seemed like to me.
Okay,
I mean, fair play to him.
Fair enough. Yeah, in a perfect world, obviously you would have cleared all those drivers instantly, but we really kind of brought it to the wire there. One more lap, we might have a different story here.
Yeah, I mean, I almost spun also like 6 or 7 times, so one more lap I might have been in the wall.
All right. Well, anywho, going to Suzuka next. What are we expecting to see from you?
Hopefully another win.
Oh yeah, you won last season, did you not?
Yeah, so if Mystic doesn't get to practice this season again, maybe I can take it again, but
okay.
You never know. I don't know. I went over that track a couple times like this last weekend, and I was way slower than I was last season for whatever reason, so
you just gotta take some time away from your fantasy team and put it back into your racing.
Yeah, it is tough being undefeated.
Yeah,
For those of you watching that don't know right now, Crash and I are in a fantasy hockey league together, and we have almost the same amount of points. But since it's head-to-head,
yeah, since it's
I'm
head-to-head,
undefeated.
yeah, I've got 50 less total points than him, but he's undefeated and I'm 4-5. Like, just an absolute joke. But whatever.
Yeah, and 50 is really close. So
Yeah, besides the point. But anyhow, well done. Congratulations on the first podium of the season. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to you in Suzuka. And best of luck. And have a Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate. And a Happy New Year to you too.
thank you, you too, and GG's to everyone on the podium and everyone in here. I mean, great race by everyone, different strategies, but everyone made it work in their own way.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get on to Impossible there on the third step of the podium. The Carlos Sainz, if you will. Now, Matt kind of made a little bit of a point of you felt like you were kind of allowing him through. Were you, or were you battling it out? From my angle, it kind of looked like you were kind of duking it out with him a little bit.
I was too focused on saving my tires. I didn't know if they were going to make it to the end or not. And Scavney right behind me had a 3 seconds, so I wasn't under any real threat. So I was just trying to save it, and then he got a garbage exit out of the second chicane, so I just kind of went for it.
So now, yeah, I just did pork. So now you're kind of, would you say you're entering your prime now? You've got back-to-back podiums in Midwest, and you had a lot hotter of a second half of last season compared to your first half, and you're starting this one off fairly well. I mean, is this your prime years in the Midwest F1 League there, Impossible?
We'll have to see.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to jinx anything too early in the season, but I think I have a decent chance at a good result every week.
Fair enough. Got to stay humble. But now, what was your confidence level heading into Abu Dhabi here?
Pretty good. I knew what the strategy was going to be. I knew the likelihood of safety cars, and yeah, I had quite a bit of practice. I think I had the race last night, and 2 others. One of them I won, the other one I DNF'd. So I had pretty high confidence coming in, but just couldn't get any higher than P3, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. The tire strategy kind of went your way. I guess as well as the pit stop now. Yeah, because you opted to stay out, correct? And as
Yes.
But you kind of got caught back in the traffic a little bit and had to work your way through. So,
yeah.
From the safety car restart, where was your position there?
Like P9, I think, somewhere around there.
Okay.
On the first safety car, and then I stayed out for the second one because Mystic stayed out, and I was like, it might be the better choice to stay out. And I knew I could do the end with the 2 safety cars we had.
Yeah. So how were your tires? Because Mystic was saying that his were on the verge as well.
I think my front right was the one I was struggling with the most, and that might have got into the high 60s by the end.
Okay. Mystic, what was yours at actually? I never asked you if you can unmute for a second.
It was like 72, something like that. It was. They were just fried though. They felt horrible. I was trying to maintain them, for a good bit, especially when Matt was like, going through the traffic and whatnot. I was just trying to keep a certain pace. But then once he started clearing them, and I kind of had to push a little bit more and a little bit more, and so then yeah, that that ended up making my tires pretty bad.
So did you feel kind of the same wear later on in your stint there, Impossible?
I mean, I had a few times where I almost won, because I was trying to keep Scavney just out of range of Gwen, and then I wouldn't be under attack too much. But they felt okay, but they were definitely like a second slower than these shoes behind me.
I gotcha. So now, final question here. You're an all-British team representing a partial German, partial Russian team. What's that like? Or German, sorry, partial Russian, partial American. Jesus, shut up. Okay, go ahead.
Um, I mean, yeah, I've got my themed helmet. We have our phrase before the start of the race.
Oh.
I know my champagne bottle is filled with vodka.
Oh. And Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe put a couple ciders in there or two.
Nice. Okay. Sounds good. Well, best of luck to you and your Haas teammate. I'm sure I'll be talking to Will Lance at some point. And once again to you, a Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, congrats to Mystic and Matt for the podium.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, we'll get on to
Thank you.
Smith to bring it home. Smith Pell, first hardest charger of season 5. No, okay, I just clued into this. You and Matt are teammates. So now, was it a? Did you guys discuss moving over to McLaren from Alpine, and why was the switch?
Yeah, we did. I don't really know if we even really talked about why we wanted to. I just said in the chat we had we had already said we're gonna stay teammates, and then I would just save or whatever, keep him, and I was just like, hey, why don't you go over to McLaren instead? And he said, yeah, so we did.
Easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like McLaren more than I like Alpine, so.
Fair enough. What if it was Renault? Would that have changed it?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss the yellow of Renault. I feel like there's just, I mean, like there's so much blue. Like, come on.
I agree. I think the color was still better than this, but I don't know why. I like McLaren.
Yeah.
They're pretty likable.
Oh yeah.
In general.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard not to like that group there. Yeah. But I mean, now to be honest, you two are one of the more likable guys in Midwest. You got a couple of heels on the Haas team there, but is he gonna unmute? No. Okay. No. Oh, anything impossible? No. Okay. I had to. But I mean, now you guys had a pretty good consistent year last year with the Alpine in season 4. Is there any different approach that you're coming into season 5 with? Like, what would you feel like there's something that you can kind of take to the next level?
Then just from, I mean, Matt's are always fast, so I don't think he really has to change much. Just for me, it took me a little while, midway through last year or last season to just get my pace a little bit faster, and I was pushing a little more at some times and had some incidents that dropped me back. So it's just consistency for me. It's kind of what it's always been in this game. I know that I don't quite have the pace to battle up front, so it's more or less just trying to maximize every race, stay out of too much trouble, and pick up decent points. And for me, it's just constructors, right? If I could grab a podium once in a while, I'd be pretty happy, and hopefully we can take the constructors.
Yeah. Now you kind of went for a late soft stint there, so that did wonders with you. Now, how did you find yourself taking such a late soft stint and making up so much positions at the end?
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, right? I started on the mediums back in 16th or 17th, and then I was making some ground up early on, and then that first safety car didn't come out at a great time for all the medium runners, because I think my tires were only at like 14%, 15%. I thought about staying out, ended up coming in because I just didn't want to give up the free stop, which put me back down into the back. I went for the mediums. I probably could have made an argument to go back to the softs and try to go soft to the end, but that would have been pretty risky. And then the second safety car again kind of came out at a bad time. I was about maybe 5 laps from my next pit stop, and it comes out and I have to make a choice, and I can't go back onto mediums because I've already used both sets and I haven't satisfied the two tire compound rule. So I kind of had to stay out, and I still had to go to the mediums or the softs anyway. So my hope was just some track position, stay out of some trouble, put a good few laps in, which I'm not sure if I really did, and then and try to make up some ground with about 10 laps or so to go on the softs.
Yeah, well, you made a couple of last few lap passes that helped you out in your case for the hardest charger. Now, to get hardest charger, you usually have to start at the back of the pack. What went wrong in your qualifying there for you to start so far back?
Yeah, I was having a decent lap, and coming out of that, I don't even know what turn number it would be. I think it's like turn 8 or whatever. The chicane between the two long straights. I just lost the reel a little bit, and honestly, I went into the right side wall, and I just thought it was just going to be wing damage, and I limp home to the pits, and it was one of those ones where, you kind of hit, and all of a sudden the car just kind of blew up. The front end, wheels come off and stuff, and I was a little bit surprised when it happened. I said that to Matt on the radio, and it is what it is. But I didn't think it was that big of an incident. I just thought I lost the rear, and whatever. But so that was it for qualifying, and big job ahead in the race.
Yeah, well, you got her done in the end, so good points for McLaren there. And you're on to Japan in 3 weeks time or whatever it is. So now what's your how are you feeling going into Japan to Suzuka there?
Been a while since I raced at it actually. I've always liked the track though. I like the flowing sector 1, and then obviously you get the big long straight, so it's kind of tough for setup wise. You want to strip downforce off, but obviously you need it for the first sector. But I've always enjoyed it. Hopefully it's another good race, and again, my attitude just kind of stays the same, where I'm just trying to obviously maximize every race, but I want to stay in the races as long as I try to see the checkered flag and keep picking up points for the team.
Yeah, well, you did a solid job of that today, so best of luck in the future, and as well to you. Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate, and a Happy New Year, and we'll be speaking to you in the new year.
No, much appreciated. Same to you.
Appreciate that. But yeah, anyone have anything to say, any shout-outs before I boot you guys out and say my goodbyes?
Shout out to Vladimir Putin for not assassinating me.
Can
All right,
anyone-
well, that's a good one to end on.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, anyone top that or no?
No, enough
No?
said.
I'm kind of scared to.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, guys, have a good one. I'll be talking to you guys in the new year. Enjoy.
Same to you. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, same.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's about all she wrote. I mean, I've got a solo close here tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm hoping you enjoyed the stream, and as well as staying through the interviews and hearing what the drivers have to say for themselves. It was a fun one. I truly enjoyed it. Abu Dhabi at the beginning of the calendar opposed to the end of the calendar is a real change in pace. So it was a good one. Mr. Joker with the win, Matt Rosie second, and Possible Bacon with another podium. And yeah, let's get this shit going. Season 5 is underway. Raise energy. You gotta love that crap. It's just tastes delicious. Gives you a nice absolute boost of energy. Pork Drops drinks 3 a day, and he's 6'9" now, 250, 0% body fat. I mean, what more can you say about the drink? So go check that out. Raise energy. Use code MWF1 at checkout for 15% off your order. 15% is absolutely gorgeous, so you love to see it. Everyone have a good rest of your night, and go check out the YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and of course you're at the Twitch page. So appreciate all the follows, appreciate everyone taking part in the chat, and it wouldn't be the same without you. And I'm not sure if anything's planned for the Twitch channel until the new year, but if there isn't anything, and this is my last time talking to you until the new year, everyone stay safe. Have a good rest of your final days of 2021. Always look forward to the new year as it is a restart. And yeah, that's about all she wrote. But as per usual, I've been Crash McQueen. We have been the Midwest F1 League, and we'll be seeing you sometime in the future. Good night.